All right, we're good.
I could read the prompt. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so discuss with your group members situations in which you have employed the various sources of power and influence referenced by Hackman and Johnson. Further, work to tie those experiences to your role as a leader or as a follower. Sorry, my handwriting. Who wants to go first?
Well, you know what? I think I read it a little bit funny because when I was reading it, I just started thinking of an experience that I had, but it was employed with me as a follower.
I think that's fine because she's asking, you know, what our role was in the situation as a leader or a follower. So I think it's fine. Like some of the stuff that I wrote down, like I wasn't a leader in that situation.
Okay. So one of the ones that I was thinking of was with the reward power, because I worked at HP for a while, and one of the things they did, like if you got kudos in writing, if somebody emailed and said, oh, you were amazing with this, or emailed your boss or whatever, you were supposed to print it out and take it with you to the monthly staff meeting. And if they decided that you got something really great, somebody said something great about you, you got like a $5 gift card.
Oh, cool.
And it seemed really cool. You know, it was kind of like paying your kid for getting A's. Something I have done, but whatever. But sometimes I kind of wonder, you know, if any of us worked hard because we wanted to do a good job, or if we worked hard because we wanted to go to Starbucks for free. So there's my example of reward power.
Yeah.
I've had a situation, or I wrote something down about reward power. You know, the other three of us, we all work for Starbucks, and there's this audit that you get twice a year called the Quasi audit, and it basically is like how clean your store is. And in my district, if a store does really well all year, we get rewarded for it. And usually it's in the form of like some sort of party or like partner outing where like the store will get covered by another store's partners and we can all just go out and celebrate our success. And I mean, while that is a reward, I don't think that has as much power over us as the punishment that would be on the other side of it, if that makes any sense. Like, the reward is great, it's fine, like, it's pizza or whatever, but if we didn't do well, it would be so much worse than not having a pizza party, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So then you're saying it's not the reward that's incentivizing you, it's the punishment.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're not getting the punishment.
Right.
So then the reward is just a bonus.
Yeah.
So what happens if you don't do well enough?
It's on the shoulders of whoever was the supervisor in charge at the time it happened, and also the store manager. So if a store manager's store consistently performs poorly on that audit, I mean, it could be their job.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's bigger than a pizza party, for sure.
Yeah, right? Have any of you guys also had experiences with reward power or wrote anything down that you wanted to talk about?
For reward power specifically?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Starbucks, we have something called on-the-spot cards for Kelly. They're just like, at the end of the day or during a shift, someone just writes you a little note on a card, like praising you or just trying to boost your confidence or showing appreciation, something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's just words. It's just a little tiny note. And I've seen those like do so much for a person, and it's incredible. It's really not much of a, like, as far as what does the definition say, something of value, it's really just sentimental, but like a lot of people love them, and I've seen people do much better jobs the next day and consistently want to do better jobs just based off praise and stuff like that. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
I'd
we
say
had
kind words have a
About
lot
that,
of
you're
value.
totally right.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not like money or party,
Yeah.
but
Right.
just
But
the appreciation.
yeah, I think I've experienced more like good come out of those than like any like pizza party or any
Yeah,
other kind
same.
of reward.
Yeah, we just had our holiday meeting. I don't know if you guys have had yours yet, but
Yeah.
we did a thing where in like the 2 weeks before, everybody wrote two of those, and then they read most of them at the holiday meeting. Where
Oh,
because that's like the
nice.
one time that all the partners are together,
Uh-huh.
and so it was just a
That's really
really
cool.
cool activity to just highlight some people. So
You guys,
that's
I
cool.
love that so much.
yeah, it's cool.
Me too. Well,
Yeah,
it's
Starbucks
unfortunate.
is really good
Right?
about like encouraging
Yeah.
uh, appreciation of each other.
Mhm.
That is something that I do enjoy.
That is awesome.
All right. Does anyone else have something they want to say right now, or I have a couple of things that I wrote down that I'd like to talk about.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So I talked about reward power. Another thing is, it does have to do with Starbucks is legitimate power. And basically my role at Starbucks is a shift supervisor. So for a certain part of the day, I'll be responsible for running a shift. And legitimate power is basically, you have the power for that time because of your title. But it's actually kind of funny the way it works there is because, you count over to another shift and you are still, you still have that position and you're still paid and that's your title as a supervisor. But once it's not your shift anymore, like you're not in charge, like you're not calling the shots anymore. So I think it's a really like black and white example of legitimate power. I mean, like it could be the same day, in a matter of just minutes, and it's not up to you anymore. I mean, sure, like you can take responsibility for things, but you can't prescribe anyone's behavior or tell someone where to go. I mean, you could, but you can't expect it to be the
Yeah, you're not the
thing that's
president.
gonna stick.
That's an interesting comparison. I didn't think about that.
I mean, and sometimes that is nice to know that there will be a point during your day where like it's not all your responsibility, and it's going to end at a certain point. But yeah, I don't find any frustration in it. Are either of you guys shifts?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay, yeah. Do you have the same
Yeah.
experience where you're like, oh, like I don't have the keys anymore, like?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, at my store, it's kind of like there's like a closer opener like separation, and I'm pretty much the main opener, so I'm kind of seen as that like one opening shift. And it's funny how the baristas will go to one person for something and another person basically it's more of like an expert power dynamic because whoever's the better at it. And yeah, so it's like we don't really have to battle over what we should do in this situation because we're never really doing the same thing. It's kind of interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of a struggle because sometimes we don't understand each other's shifts as well. I mean, I've been a closer, but vice versa. The closer's like, what do you do all day? I'm like, well. So yeah. That's an example.
Did anyone else have anything to say about legitimate power? Or I know there's like a bunch of them, and we probably all like made notes about different ones.
Right. Yeah, I didn't make any notes on legitimate power. One thing I did make a note on was credibility, which is a really big one for me. Whenever I think about leaders that I've encountered, or when I'm a leader and I step into that position of power, or someone new has. I think it's really important to build that credibility because I've definitely seen, even at work, we had a guy come in, he didn't work at Starbucks, he got hired as a shift, and he didn't build that credibility, and he just kind of started telling people what to do, and it wasn't a good situation because he didn't build that credibility. And I think that it's really important if you want to have influence over people, you got to establish that credibility first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, no one's going to want to follow you.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen that happen with people that previously worked at Starbucks, because Starbucks is so team-based that even if you're a barista and you come in and you haven't kind of earned trust of your coworkers or like shown that you have their back or any of that, if you just come in and start telling them what to do, you don't always get the best reaction.
Yeah,
so like I saw
totally...
a really great shift once just get like no one wanted to listen to her, and it was really strange because I understood where she was coming from, but no one trusted her yet. So they're like, well, you don't know. It's kind of interesting how that works.
Yeah. And we are actually right at 11 minutes.
Okay.
So.
Perfect.
That went fast.
So I will